The Toronto Raptors. Okay, now they are in also this is a rebuild team, obviously.
Definitely, just looking at this, like, if they were going to go for a rebuild, I could see them trading Pascal.
Yes.
Pascal getting traded at the deadline.
He has been in a lot of trade talks, considering...
I think the new core is going to probably be OG, Gary, and Scotty. Yeah. And Precious.
Yeah. I like Gary Trent a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect from this team, especially them being in the East, and there's a lot of good East teams.
Yeah.
They may like if they go like career years for Fred and career year for Pascal, maybe play-in tournament. Probably like ninth tournament.
Who knows? I mean, I think it could only go up here for Toronto. I mean, the entire year last year they had to play in Florida.
Right, that's true.
That's tough for any player having to relocate, not being able to see family for so long. They're finally back in Toronto next year. Like, just on paper, like, it's a good young team.
Yeah. And a lot of players miss games. Like, Fred last year only played 52. Pascal only played 56. Lowry only played 46. OG only played 43. Gary Trent was traded mid-season, and he only played 17. Their highest...
I mean, who knows?
The game count, like, looking at all these games, the highest, the person with the highest games played was Stanley Johnson at 61 games played, and then it was Boucher at 60. So, like, this team wasn't healthy. It was in a new city, and they had relocated.
I mean, just looking at this on paper, say Fred VanVleet were to have a career year.
Yeah.
Like, I think this team could find a way into the play-in spot. Like, not just being like a 14 seed. Like, I think they could make their way in like a 9, 10, and then win the play-in and then get in.
I'd love to see
I want to see Scotty Barnes in the playoffs.
Yeah, I miss Toronto in the playoffs. Toronto always. I love Toronto. Toronto. I haven't been to Toronto, but Toronto's like atmosphere in the arena, like every time they're in the playoffs is amazing. Like you could feel it through a TV. I love it. So I would want them to be in a playing game. Can you imagine Toronto in like a winner takes all game like that? That's a crazy sight. So if you look at this team, you have Fred at the 1, Gary Trent at the 2, OG at the 3, Pascal at the 4, and then Precious at the 5, who they traded for when it was a sign and trade for Kyle Lowry. And then at the bench, backup Malachi Flynn, who they like a lot. Goran Dragic, who I don't know.
Future Matt Goran Dragic.
He said he doesn't want to go. He said he doesn't want to play here, but then
they're gonna buy him out here.
They're gonna buy him out.
That's what I mean. Or unless they do something with Ben Simmons, his contract matches with Ben Simmons.
Oh yeah, you see.
So, I don't know, but
I don't think he's playing at all. I don't think he's ever gonna put on Toronto Raptors jersey.
He's gonna look nice in that.
In the Mavs blue. And then, but what's weird to me is that like Scotty went 4th, right? To play him on the bench.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in order to accelerate his development, I think Pascal's gonna get flipped,
right?
For something like maybe a young piece. I don't know who, but I think the Pascal Siakam experiment is done in Toronto.
Which sucks because I like him a lot. I mean,
it's just they got their chip right.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just got old. Like Kyle Lowry's gone. Like all those pieces from that Jonas gone. I mean, who else from that team's gone?
Kawhi.
Everyone from that team's gone.
Yeah, everyone from that championship team is gone.
Fred.
And it's just as Fred, OG, and Pascal, and even then I think OG was injured that entire playoff run. But I mean, Pascal averaged 21. He averaged 21. So we'll see if he gets flipped because he's literally like he was the centerpiece at one point for this. Again, Kawhi was for a year, but then like realistically, Pascal was the guy's centerpiece.
Pascal just came out like out of nowhere.
He did. I mean, he's another G League alumni who like Fred VanVleet, who they took a chance on him and look what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, this was kind of a down year for him mainly because of his like poor season in the bubble when everyone was calling him Spinny Pete because all he can do is
Beyblade.
Beyblade when like all he can do is just spin moves. But I mean, I still like Pascal Siakam. I know that he can get flipped for something valuable because I think like it just doesn't make any sense why you took Scotty at 4th just to put him at the bench when you have Pascal Siakam anyway.
I want to see more. I like OG Anunoby.
I do like OG Anunoby too.
Two-way, had a couple nice shots in the bubble. Another year of development. I don't know. I mean, I hope they keep him as like a cornerstone of the franchise because him and Scotty Barnes would be nice.
It would be like defensively, yes.
Yeah.
Like Scotty, you can put him at the 4. Like let's say you flip Siakam for somebody.
Yeah.
You put Scotty at the 4, so now your starting lineup is Fred, Gary, OG, Scotty, who Scotty would basically be another point guard at the 4 with Fred, and then you have like whoever you flip them for. I don't know if you go for a center, but whoever that is, you probably go for a center, maybe. But like I think if you flip Pascal, you want a Thunder type trade where you just get a bunch of picks back for the following seasons because you like Chris Boucher.
Who knows? I actually changed my stance. I think they try to make the playoffs this year. Like
They try?
Let's run it one more time, right? With Pascal, right? And then if it doesn't work out, okay, maybe in the offseason they look to flip it, maybe on draft night, move into the draft, because that's always a realistic possibility. And then that next year, that's when we really see Scotty Barnes kind of take off.
Yeah, because like again, because again, like Pascal just had a down year. If you look at Pascal's
this
stats,
team right here, I mean,
this team here is decent.
I mean, they're just as good as Indiana.
It's solid.
I think.
Yeah.
They can compete with Indiana. They compete with the Charlottes. I don't know about Boston, but they can compete with Washington, I think.
Oh yeah, this team's very solid. It's just that there's a lot of again, the East is very strong, and
they're in that weird spot where they're not as bad as Cleveland and Orlando. Like they're not as good as New York, right?
Yes,
so they're kind of like in that middle pack of teams.
And then if we look at their schedule, it's nothing too ridiculous. Like it's like 3 games of hard teams, and then they get 2 games of easy. Then they get so that it's basically just alternating. I don't see a stretch of them like where like damn like they won't win anything because again. This season is literally there's so many good teams that like not everybody can win. Like they don't even have a crazy like West Coast trip. Usually the teams that I named don't have a crazy West Coast trip. Well, probably this stretch where they play Phoenix, Denver, the Lakers, and then Clippers, and then the Lakers again, and then Philly, and then Chicago. That's probably the hardest.
That West Coast trip's always how you got to go play Golden State. So you got to break with Sacramento. Then you go down to LA and play the Lakers and Clippers. Then you go to Phoenix.
Yeah, and then you go back home, and then you go to So I mean that's the only stretch. But all these other games are like 2 games.
Are they a 40+ win team this year? Do you think?
Nah,
no.
I think they're 30, but I feel like 30 is enough.
I think ceiling 45 wins, but like I could see their floor being like 30s. And
for me it's 30s mainly because like there's just not enough wins to go around.
Yeah.
And with them having like 2 games is hard and then 2 games is easy, sometimes can serve your team. Like you'll be hanging around 500, but then like there's always gonna be games where you just lose because like they just wanted they'll play Detroit and like we'll see the Scotty Cade Cunningham and then like Cade Cunningham's gonna give them the work and then they just lose. So like there's gonna be the schedule is not at all hard. Like this schedule is totally doable to go 41-41. Totally. With this team, totally you can go 41-41. Give or take 2 wins, but I don't see like if I'm Toronto and I see this schedule with the team I have right now, I am not panicking. I'm not, because not even all I have to worry about is that West Coast trip, but like that's like in March. So at that point, we'll see where we're at because like if they're in March, and that'll be about what, like you would have played.
That's like after
60 games, 55 games.
Yeah, it's like after the All-Star break.
Yeah, you would have played 55 games. So like, let's say if they're under 25 wins, then it's like, okay, then we're not making playoff.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're over 25, even at that, if they're over 25, then it's like, okay,
we got
have
a chance still.
We got a chance still. So again, this team is like this half rebuilding, half like,
because then
we're young.
Because if they make that push, right, to try to go to the playoff and they don't, and then you're stuck at like the 13th pick in the lottery.
Yeah.
When you could have just
tanked the whole way
year and get like a top 5 pick.
Yeah, because like now, like let's say, it all depends at that 55 mark, because again, with that lottery pick, if you do that lottery pick with Siakam, that can get you a lot of trade deals.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's just like, okay, like that's it. Like Siakam is. A lot of people forget that Siakam's only 26.
Yeah.
And he'll be 27 by the time next season starts. So, and then I think Fred VanVleet is 28.
I know Golden State was interested in Siakam. VanVleet's 27, I think.
27. Gary is like 25. OG's like 25. Like, this team's very young, but like, you feel like these names have been around forever.
Yeah.
But they're very young. So like, they're in a weird spot where they have household names, where they're going into their prime. So the question is, do we keep this team and just hope? Because now Toronto has been kind of this, like, a little bit of a hub for free agents. Like, it's a little bit like, we kind of want to play there. We love Toronto. We love the atmosphere. We love the fans. We love the people. But at the same time, it's just like, you're going to have to give up one of these 4 players.
Yeah. Ideally.
For somebody.
It's either going to be Pascal or Fred.
Ideally. You're right.
Or both.
Yeah, so like, again, going back to the Ben Simmons trade, like, let's say you bring in Ben Simmons, like, is Ben Simmons and Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, all 3 of them fit? Because there's no way Daryl Morey wants Siakam. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So they're gonna give away Fred and OG probably, or Fred and Gary, and so Ben, Scotty. So Ben, let's say they give up Fred and Gary for guards. It's Ben, OG, Scotty, Siakam, Precious. That's no shooting. That's horrible.
Malachi Flynn would probably be able to go to the starting lineup.
But like, is Malachi Flynn really the one that's gonna...
If I'm Toronto, I'd ask for like Tyrese Maxey back.
Yeah.
Or like something.
But like, again, like, they're in this weird spot where like Ben Simmons... This is one of those teams where I think Ben Simmons... That's why I said Toronto was iffy, because Ben Simmons does... For me, if I'm like... what's his name? Ujiri? Mm-hmm. If I'm looking at Ben Simmons, like, this doesn't make any sense for me, because for what I have to give up, because again, Ben Simmons, again, the Sixers are in this weird spot where Daryl wants a guard back because technically Ben is a guard, but then at the same time, whoever's getting Ben back is not a guard because like he can't shoot. So like, even though he'll fill the quote unquote guard position, he can't shoot. So if you have a very bottom-heavy team, he doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
And this is one of those teams. So, like, it just doesn't work because your focus is Scotty, and Scotty has Ben Simmons qualities.
Yeah.
Where he can make his huge.
I don't know if you want to ruin your top 5 pick off the bat by adding him with a guy that kind of plays similar to him.
Very similar.
But Scotty, you know, he's not reluctant to shoot. He'll shoot the ball.
Yeah, he'll shoot the ball. I truly like him, and it's hard for me right now for this team, like for this team depth, to look at him and be like, I don't know how to put him in the starting lineup without having one of these core guys sitting, because it doesn't make any sense. Why would you pay Siakam crazy money just to have him on the bench now? OG doesn't make sense to have him on the bench. So I don't know if you run Scotty at the 5 at one point. Yeah. You just like fucking try it. But even then, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Probably Scotty does come off the bench, and then he becomes the 6th man off the bench, mm-hmm. and just like he'll go in and he'll play at the 5, at certain times. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this team. They're a rebuilding team, kind of, not really.
Yeah, they're in that gray area where it's like, I don't know. We could make the playoffs, but I mean, does it benefit us getting outed in the first round? No.
So like, again, at the 55 game mark, if they're under 25, and you're going into that West Coast trip, just you're done. Like, I think you just develop Scotty for the last 30 games, 30-some games.
I think they should measure it at the trade deadline.
The trade deadline is it's after Christmas, and it's in February, so that'll be about 45 games. So 10 games less.
It's like I mean, at that point, like, you definitely have a good feel like for the team you are, and at that point, then they'd probably make the decision like, okay, well, we're not going to make the playoffs.
I don't think they make a move trade deadline though.
No, you don't think they move like a Pascal? Or like
no, I don't think they move trade deadline because I think it'll be smarter and better to okay, you're looking at the team at 45-some wins. 45-some games, and you go lottery, and then you do lottery pick with Siakam. I think that'll be more enticing to people, considering again Siakam's only 26, and if he does in that time have a good year where he's averaging where his best year was 2021 was his best year. And he does do it again at 21, 22, 23. With that lottery pick, that'll be very enticing for people. That allows you to put Scotty in the starting lineup for the following season and find more pieces that can help you transform this team into another championship team.
I mean, it's always hard to evaluate. I want to see what they look like on the floor with Scotty coming off the bench. I can't wait to see how that works. And then from there, I'd be able to make an easier call. But right now, it's just hard. Just looking at a depth chart, because with the East being so good and just the talent in the league being good, someone has to lose. So, I mean, should be an exciting team. I'll definitely tune in to watch Scotty and see what he does.
Yeah. And that's the good thing about, there's a reason to watch every team this year. I think
I'm not watching Sacramento. I'm not watching Utah.
You don't want to watch Davion Mitchell?
No.
You don't want to watch Donovan Mitchell?
I don't want to watch him.
Oh.
25, bro. In his
year,
I don't want to watch
You know what?
him.
You're right. Why would I want to watch Dallas? Why would I want to watch?
Because there's a Hall of Famer on the court.
Why would I want to watch Dorian Finney-Smith?
Oh.
Nah. Why would I want to watch?
No. You saw Dorian Finney-Smith hype place combination. I know you saw it. I showed you.
No. All I saw was Dwight Powell shooting threes.
Hey. And that's all part of the experience.
You fucking idiot. You fell for the Dwight Powell pump fake.
That's all part of the Dallas Mavs experience.
And we were watching it and somebody actually fell for the Dwight Powell pump fake.
Hey. Dwight Powell could shoot 50% from three. He just doesn't want to.
No. And then after this pod was a different corner, you're like, I fucking hate Dwight Powell.
He does. Hey, he could, but he just doesn't want to. I mean, the league would be fucked if he could.
The league would be fucked. Please leave down in the comments. What do you think about this Raptors team? Do you think Scotty Barnes is a Rookie of the Year candidate? What do you think he'll do being a sixth man? Do you think he starts? I think all of this revolves around Scotty, honestly, because he's the fourth. He was the fourth pick. You didn't pick him to be on the bench for the next 2 years, 3 years. So, please leave down in the comments what you think.
Watch them run Scotty Barnes at the 1 and Fred VanVleet's your 6-man.
Maybe, I don't know. Fred VanVleet used to be a 6-man.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of different approaches you can take that literally all around revolve around Scotty. So, leave down in the comments and subscribe. Also, that'll be nice.